And good evening, good night. Due to the time differences, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well by the grace. So Sundays, I normally don't come on Sundays, but every now and then I will come on um, due to a request or if I have something pressing coming up. Uh, I did a mother's love on Friday evening. One of my good friend and sister, Cecilia Ohin, requested that I do part two with a mother's love. So I'm doing that today. But before we start, as always, music is a good sensory for the mind, body, and soul. Brother Ankra Akwesi Niabema, my feel ruffle. It's good to see you. So as I did on Friday, let me play Sweet Mother. That's a song that Brother Adebayo Wallace Apomu Eteseng hope say yes what yet. Now I know say like a mother's love is not everybody who has experienced the love of their mother based on their environment and the family that they were raised in, because there are some mothers who are like I'm not sure, like they are not able to emotionally connect with their child. So let me play Sweet Mother and then we will talk. I would like for the men to be really involved, share their views on this, because some of us mothers, we want to learn some of the things that you guys are struggling with as an adult, and because you may not have, getting certain coping skills growing up. So what can us mother do to be able to kind of like with our children do better and help our children be more mature, responsible, caring, loving, and be the men that every woman would love to be around. So I'm just like super excited as to what you guys have to offer. Brother Ankara, I'm expecting you to share a mother's love, or what are some of the things that you can share on that. So let me go and play my song. Oh, this song just disappeared on me. I just don't even know why it would do that. Boss lady Bakope, the marvelous, knowledgeable, strong-willed, motivational, beautiful boss lady Bakope, no size. Hey. And then the next nothing may shake me. I have to compromise where I sit. Hey, this I have been Rasinio, danger of video. What's that one in the account? Hey, we're going to talk about a mother's love. I know some of us, we have like unconditional love. I mean, for my mother, like she will walk through fires for me. Like, sometimes we say like words are just cheap. It's not like that. There are some mothers who literally will do anything for their child and hold them responsible, accountable for their wrongdoing. Oh boy. Hey, a mother's love part 2. Oh, boss lady, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying. It's all the blessings, Sweet God, I love. As I tell, nice way. Yeah, for I know so many years, so most of my nieces they were born on Thursdays.
My mother don't cry. She will say it's day when I go down there she died. She will beg
I know, right? That's good, that's good, that's good. I'm happy. But hey, that brother Antanuno was just here at the computer. My mother no go chop no crack. You are one of my mommy for the bread. I'm on Benny D. I almost said I didn't come. Serious matter. Oh, you just put me in a whole new mood. I am so happy I'm able to do that. Since I have the Russian. Since I am when you mix it, you guys carry the same middle name. The first time I saw your middle name, I was like, wow, that is amazing. But Mrs. Akepone, my name is Jane. And she's very, 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 just like you, very brilliant, like independent, respectful, like, you know, she has a lot of personality. Strong one, bold. It's so bold. Sister Etia Adema. I promise to say, I will say yes something I said this is the first time I meet him. Oh, and I'm happy to have you. But hey, boss lady, I thought I was saying, eh? I know some people get skills, so eh? Ashabani Kumasasi, no dance will kill earth. Okay, music is a good sensory for mind, body, and soul. Sir, what? Hey, maybe you may rock. Sweet mother. Sweet mothers. God bless all the sweet mothers, eh? Let me put this down. Huh? Okay, let me see. Hey. Okay, I'm sharing. I'm going to today, this year, part 2. Okay, let me see. Just like this is part 2. Okay. Of a mother's love in Abrabo Nsem. In Abrabo Nsem. Life issues. Oh Lord. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hey, I thought you won't be tired, but I have said the expiry. It means say yes. He knows what he's doing. Oh. I have to type this over. I cannot believe this. I have to type this over.
My sweet mother.
Let me just create a new one.
My sweet mother will
because it's not allowing me. Okay, there it is.
My mother will cry.
I see it.
You don't know what you could do. You know well.
I see.
Now what's in the water you my picking?
I'm mother's love.
You forget another husband. But you forget another
Welcome,
mother.
everybody. You guys share your views. Share your views. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. We all have experiences somewhere. My hair is running away from me. It goes here and go there. It goes here and go there. Like, I'm trying to like make sure the back is straightened up, but it's just messing with me. Maybe I should use straight now. I'm gonna mix the language, so whichever one I flow most, I go with it. Mostly I speak English, yes, because I'm like majority of my friends, they understand English. I didn't like roll my hair last night. I just wrapped it, so we have like stains of them coming out. I should have rolled my hair last night, just to make it nice and smooth. So, but we're gonna take it as it is for today. It's okay. This is as beautiful as can look. So, hey, sweet mother. Sister.
Sweet mother.
All right. Welcome everybody. Mimobia Kwaba. Apomu to say. As I said, I always say yes to Adumini Shira. Obia Hoye. Friday night, Mebeka, a mother's love. Na to say sister comfort Reku, like she came and shared her views, and she did mention she made great points, but one of the things that she mentioned that stuck with me, and it is so true, 110% true, is that we do have motherly love, but some of the love is like above and beyond, whereas their child will do things that needs to be redirected, and for the child to be held accountable, but the mothers will most likely like ignore it, push it aside, and still enable their child to do certain things. So their children, as growing up, they will pick bad habits. They will go outside and do things, and the mother will still come and defend their child. As mothers, it's our job to protect our children, to teach our children, because we are our children's first teachers, including the father. But we do have single mothers, who are like exceptional. Like for one person to take the role of two people's duty is not easy. Like you have to be a mother and a father to your child, or for some fathers they have to be a father and a mother to their child. We do have some children or some people who will share that when it comes to parenting, they feel like their father was the person that made a big impact on them because their mother was absent, or like absent-minded. Even though they were there presently, they were not able to get the motherly love. Brother Big Love did share that he did not have that with his mom, but with his father he had that with. And then he kind of like take it a step further and talk in terms of like children's responsibilities and parents' responsibilities, because when it comes to certain families, certain parents, their goal is to take care of their children and their children to grow up and take care of them. So some of them are unable to plan for their future retirement. So by the time they get to old age, they are not able to take care of themselves. So the pressure to their children becomes higher. And he doesn't think that is by force. It should be like force upon children to take care of their parents. But how he said it, a lot of people, some people, misunderstood him, because, and I say this all the time, our understanding and emotional intelligence are different. So sometimes when someone tries to say certain things or share their point of view, we need to take care and pay close attention to what they're getting at. If we don't understand them, the best possible way is not to insult, to be disrespectful, but to ask questions to get better understanding where the person is coming from. I know on a daily basis, it's not every day or like whenever. It's not everything that I say that everybody is going to agree with me. And sometimes it will be half and half. Sometimes it will be like, nothing at all. But that's okay. We are like inclined to share our views with people around us, people we care for, people that we don't know, because like being on social media, there are so many people on social media that I don't know. Like, we have silence listener. I don't know who's listening to me. My words can impact so many people, or it may not impact other people, but that's quite okay, because I learn something each time through programs that I do. I watch them over, and I also go through the comments that I'm not able to go through during the live feed. I will go through, to have better understanding, like, I'll be like, okay. And sometimes reading comments, some of them can give me an idea of a topic, to come up with. Brother Ankra, he never disappoints. So let's go to Brother Ankra, who just put something there. Brother Ankra says, is the music okay? Hold on. Okay, let me just pause the music because I want to make sure. All right, sweet mother, we will never forget you. So Brother Ankra says, a mother's love needs to be given unconditionally to establish trust and a firm foundation of emotional intimacy in a child's life. Hey, Brother Ankra, you know what? Since you want me to go to school, I'm going to go to school, because Brother Ankra be sharing, like, in terms of emotional intimacy. Hey, Charlie. Intimacy. Okay. Hey, Charlie. Oh my goodness. All right. So based on Brother Ankra's, contribution, because we talk about intimacy can be so many other things, because some of us adults, like me, Adwoa Odo here, when I hear intimacy now, my mind will run somewhere. But intimacy can be so many ways, having conversation, being able to express your inner feelings, share your opinion without, having other people prejudge you, without having other people suppress how you feel, having the freedom to express yourself, or getting closer to someone, bonding with someone. So it's like when we talk in terms of intimacy can be anything, everything, all around. Welcome, Openyi Wrestle Anan, aka Oche My Nie Bam Yes. So it's like, Brother Ankra mentioned emotional intimacy, and I'm going to go to definition. By definition, emotional intimacy involves candid, authentic sharing of thoughts and feelings. It involves being able to tell each other your deepest fears, dreams, disappointments, and most complicated emotions, as well as feeling seen and understood when you do. So it's like, a lot of times we have some parents, who has like this emotional bond with their children, and their children are able to feel free and go to them and talk to them about anything. Like, I will use myself as an example. Growing up, with my mom and dad in Kumasi, because my father used to teach in Osetutu Secondary School, but now it's changed to different, it's mixed. Before it was just boys school, and my mom was a nurse. And during that time, my dad, being a teacher, is like always, all most of his talk and directive and redirections and prompting, everything is about studying. You need to do this, you need to learn so many things. And like my mom, she was like the more, like, the more intimate one. She would talk to us in terms of like, what are some of the things that you enjoy doing, like, who do you plan to um, build a relationship with, among your friends. Who are you closer to? What are some of the things that you feel comfortable talking about? And what are some of the things that you are uncomfortable talking about? What are some of the things that I can do for you to help you build that self-confidence? And then up to, like, my father came to travel abroad when I was 9 years old. So like my mom has to take on the mother and the father role with the four of us, because there were five of us, but one passed away. May God rest her soul. And then, so for the four of us, three girls, one boy, my mom has to take the role in, being a mother and a father. So when I turned 10 and a half, going to 11 years old, my mom, joined my father. But, prior to that, she made a decision to bring us to her family side, and to ask her family to take care of us while she's gone. And then gradually they will work to, come and bring us to them. But, it took, the directive that was given my mom was that to leave our younger sister behind. But when she reached US, she was asked, where are the kids? And by the time it's too late, she couldn't come back. So she has to deal with having to not have her children, whom she has grown, whom she has developed and grow a bond with, right? So for 5.5 years, my parents were together without us. But we hear from them most of the time, like, they buy us clothing, make sure that like on a monthly basis, money were being sent financially to make sure that her side of the family members that we were staying with, because we have bigger family, Africans, we have extended family. So constantly there was money being sent to take care of us. That's another story that we will talk about. So when I when we rejoined our parents, I was like emotionally and psychologically like abuse, like from the 5.5 years absent that I was away with my parents. Yeah, I was emotionally, psychologically abused. You have things being said to you, you have, being flogged and all that. and then being asked, because I'm very I'm very vocal, but I was told multiple times that I talk too much. I need to learn to close my mouth. And, you know, if something is not right and I speak against it or of it, that will be getting some flogging. So, and you may cause name quay now coca near Charles Tro, and I say the and fear shoe trim if I were ni so crampo na, who cares? Because one yen on your back nominate. So, like when I joined my family, my parents, you know, I was like more withdrawn instead of like a lively, you know, vocal, strong person. Like my self-confidence just went from up all the way, it went to the bottom. So I didn't have any self-confidence at all. My both my parents recognized that, you know, that I sat with them, I spoke to them of all the treatment that we went through and everything. But, you know, the most important thing is that they had reconnect with us, so they had to start all over. My mom is somebody that she does not, you know, she has unconditional love, but she does not accept any wrongdoing. You do. My dad is the same way. But my mom was more the person that will sit you down and have a long conversation with you. Excuse me for a second. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm live. Okay, bye. Am I calling someone? Okay. Sorry guys. My baby sister, she's looking for me and she couldn't find me, so she thought that I wasn't live. Sorry about that. So, you know, reconnecting with them, my mom will sit you down and, you know, have a long conversation with you, explain things, you know, from stage 1, 2, and 3. And she will make sure, like, you know, if you don't understand much, she's not going to push you with too much. She will let you know, we're going to have this conversation 2 days from now. I want you to go and think about this. My dad is like, you know, he's the one that would, you know, it's like running 100 meters, right? He would just say it, and there's no like coming back with another conversation. You know, he doesn't follow up. Our mom follows up. My mom, like, she takes time with the emotional intimacy. So, Brother Ankra, thank you so much. When you have some parents, you know, everybody have their stronghold and their strength. My dad, you know, his strength was not emotional intimacy part, you know, like my mom's was. So you're right, being able to feel comfortable. But I was able to talk to my mom, and either my mom and my dad, about so many things. When it comes to girls stuff, it's just with my mother, because you know African men don't want their daughters, you know, dating at certain age. At some point, Papa said, when you're 25, I will consider you an adult. So I was like, okay, I'm working with that. I turned 25 and I was like, yes. When I turned 25, I was like, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now I have my freedom. I have my freedom. I can do whatever. Like, and so I went to my dad. I was like, Dad, guess what today is? And he was like, he's looking at me like, I was like, guess what today is? I'm 25. He was like, congratulations, you still living under my roof. I was like, what the? That's the kind of parents that I have. But my mom, like, my mom was like, okay, you have to follow up what you said, because she has done her part. So it's amazing. It's incredible. Like, when it comes to my parents, like, oh, they gave me so much coping skills. Thank you, Hapani. Many. Good evening to you as well. Evening. Baby, so ya no pa. maybe I'm watching you live from Germany. Oh, greetings to everyone. Oh, Chimani, indeed. This yeah, B. Russell said, how do you handle or get over a mother who seems to love other siblings than she does you? OMG, that is an awesome and excellent question. You right there. That depends on the person, your emotional strength, stability. I mean, there are some instances now you can never get over it, but you have to be able to at some point pause and figure out, okay, what you lost you can never get back, and the years you have ahead of you, what can you do differently? Being able to forgive your mother, of some of the important things that they miss. I mean, it's really sad that you have some mothers who literally will express to their children and differentiate between their children and attack their own children, emotionally, psychologically damage their child by letting their child knows that they love one more than the other. I mean, it is so wrong and dysfunctional, unhealthy for any mother who has unconditional love for their child or children to separate their children, because what happens is that as the children are growing up, they're going to separate themselves emotionally. They will not bond with their siblings because they also going to repeat exactly the things that their mom has been telling their siblings, that mom loves me more than she loves you. I mean, like, how can a mother do that? Even some of us have recognized that with our children, every mother, I mean, that pays attention. It took me my mom's unconditional love and also my experience, growing up, and some of the trainings that I took, that not every direction or every method of raising a child works with one child, because like among my children, with the oldest one, the 25 one, Ray, like for him, you just have to be specific with him and let him know what the expectation is, what to be expecting of him, and also for him to let us know what his expectations are, because he's a grown man. For the 12-year-old son, he needs redirections and some prompting to be able to like grasp a lot of things. The daughter, like, she goes all around. Sometimes you may need prompting, other times she needs directive statement, other times she needs redirection, other times she does not need nothing at all. So with every child, you have to know what works with your child and what does not work with your child. What some of the parents lack of, some coping skills, they cannot differentiate what works with their child because they're not paying attention. They don't have that intimate emotional intimacy with their child, so they don't know what works for them. And some parents will be like grabbing it, but oh my gosh, I cannot work with this child, this child is so difficult. No, you're not stopping to figure out what works with your child. So it's wrong for some for some mothers to literally, or a father to let their children know that they love some siblings like over others. It's really wrong and it's unhealthy. It's toxic. You creating an environment that when your children gets older, they're going to hold that against you. Just know that. So for the child who goes through such things, I think that the best possible way is to talk with that parent. Once you feel comfortable and you're in a good place and you have more understanding, and letting that parent know how that has impacted you in your life, but you don't want that to continue. So you just want them to be aware that everything that they have said growing up, and this is how you feel. Maybe they may not have seen it, but this is something that, it bothered you for a long time, but it's no more. You're not looking for her or his love, and but you just going to let them know that you forgive them, and that itself will start, resolving. There are some parents, it don't matter. Whichever way, it's not going to work out, but it's a difficult situation to be in. And sometimes we do have some individuals, such things bothers them, and it does impact them raising their own, or it can empower them to raise their children better and make sure that they treat their children with the same love. My mother growing up, I share it Friday, I never felt like she loves me more than my younger sister or my bigger sister, or like, vice versa. When I was like my teenage years before I turned 20, I felt that my mom, has more love for our brother because he was the only boy. But then as I got older, I realized that that wasn't the case. So I was able to be receptive and also share that with my mom. And my mom was like, how can you think that? But she was so happy that I was able to come to her and speak to her about it. But every parent, any parent, and I'm speaking from my personal opinion, I seriously feel that any parent who will verbalize to their child or like differentiate their love between their children is not a good parent. That's my personal opinion. They should never, never do that, because what you're doing is you breaking your child's spirit. You making your child less than they're supposed to be, even if their pregnancy or how they were conceived was not something that you were expecting. You should give your child unconditional love. And if you're not able to do that, then you give your child for adoption, or your child to a family member who will love your child the way that they should be loved. Sister, yeah, be Russell, I hope I answer your question a little bit, or like to your satisfaction. Brother Ankra Akwesi says, a mother's love shapes cultures and individuals. While most mothers know that their love and emotional availability are vital is vital to their children's well-being. Many of us do not understand the profound and long-lasting impact we have in developing our young children's brain, teaching them first lessons of love, shaping their conscience. Yes, 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 most definitely. I mean, like, it is so incredible. A lot of people don't realize that whatever we teach our children from their earliest age into their teenage, into the adult, it impacts them. So when we are negative around our children, they're going to grow up to be more negative, and they're going to even sometimes be worse, unless depending they choose to not have negative people around them, because sometimes people's bad experiences will help them teach themselves to go the opposite way, whereas others, they continue to go to that path and ruin their life in so many ways. Hey, brother Isaac Bako, Apomuti send me what you. Hey, today there you catch me life. Good evening to you as well. Thank you so very much. By the grace of God, the family, myself, we are blessed and safe. Thank you so very much. Sister Sage knew then Demi the knowledgeable one. Apomo et is saying, at the form said there be a make kind of Sister Sage, right? Oh. authentic merchandise. Okay, you go to her website, which is sageshare.com. So like her first name with an S, and then you put share, SHEA.com. You know, if you look on the screen, you know, it will come to pass. You see that, and then whatever you're looking for, she has a comment box. You let her know when you pick the t-shirts which color you want, what size you want, and she will communicate with you to get things to you. Oh, thank you, Sister Yabi Russell. Yes, you have answered it and more. Thanks. Well, you're very welcome, and I'm happy to help. Brother Ankara Quest, hey, Brother Ankara Quest, you know, I say when it comes to our relationship with our mothers, you and I need to need. I love the word need. We need to focus on our need more. You and I need to be willing to look inside our own experiences to identify and places we may still be affected by our relationship with our own mother. We can begin that journey by simply being willing to search our hearts and better understand ourselves. Professional counseling may also be a valuable part of that process. Most definitely. When it comes to professional counseling, you know, like many times when we use every options, you know, we try everything, reconnecting with a mother who mistreat you or did not give you the love that you needed growing up, you know, at the time that you needed, they disappoint you throughout your whole life. Most times it will require professional counseling, you know, but we also have to understand that with our upbringing, backgrounds, culture, traditional, some of us, our thinking process, you know, someone going to see a counselor will be, okay, you telling me that I'm broken. So for them, instead of a positive thing, they may think it being negative because, or me having to accept that I have a problem. Most of the time you don't technically have to have a problem, you know, you're not broken. There is a hidden situation, a hinder, something that is hindering you from growing, from changing, from moving on, from pressing forward, because some of our traumatic events growing up or situation growing up, you know, can affect us, you know, in a negative form. So being able to move forward and really develop genuine love for yourself, for your child, for your partner, for people that you care for, it could be really challenging and difficult. And sometimes, you know, just having to go talk to someone and voice it out, they listen to you, they don't judge you, they are able to kind of like diagnose what it is that is happening. If you have any other hidden situation, sickness that's going on, because you know, mental health is something that some people may be going through, that it could be genetic or it could be something that you develop based on a toxic environment that you were in, but you may not recognize it because that is a norm for you. So professional counseling is good, but for some people it may not help them, because for them it will they have fear in going to see somebody else, because their neighbors, their friends, their family member, their partner would think that there is something wrong with them, meanwhile they feel that there's nothing wrong with them. So in order for them to take that step, they need to have effective communication and have better understanding. We taking these steps because that's what I feel will be able to help us be able to grow and change and have some develop other positive coping skills that will help us be able to move forward and build a healthier relationship. So some people, when you mention counseling, it's like a turn off for them. And some people, when you mention counseling, they're like, finally someone understand me. So it's kind of trickish, but I agree with everything that you mentioned, Brother Ankra. Thank you so much. Sister Aisha Ankranio Dende, I've always been saying it's good to see you. Another knowledgeable sister. Your chromo for Ghana for bebre or honoma a bass say be a nneɛma nkɔ yie ma no te sɛ ne rapo anaasɛ sɛneɛ ne nteteyɛ mu no ɔdɔ a ɛde ɔdɔ no wɔanya bi amfiri ne maame hɔnom anaasɛ te sɛ ɔdɔ ankasa wɔno koraa wɔnte aseɛ anaasɛ nneɛma bi a nkɔ yie ama no nti no struggle in relationship no ne ade ɔno a ne ba koraa mpo no nim how to love them because awofo bi wɔ hɔnom a nteatea ɛsiane sɛ wɔno wɔsua no tea ne ɛteatea no akora bi wɔ hɔnom a wotea no a asɛm a woka nyinaa ewura ha sɛ na epie firi ha sɛ na ɛkɔ it's not sticking akora bi wɔ hɔnom a ohia sɛ wobɛkae no sɛ adeɛ wei mepɛ sɛ woyi firi saa ɛdan n'anim hɔnom na abɛkɔhyɛ wo mpa ase wokyɛ obi akora bi nso wɔ hɔnom a ohia wɔyɛ visual nti no te sɛ wokasa kasa kasa a wonhu agyerɛ wɔadraw adeɛ no ma no anaasɛ wahu sɛ woyɛ physical ne wɔ ɔhwɛ ne wahu sɛ sei na woyɛ no ɛbɛstick mmɔ akora bi nso wɔ hɔnom a ɔno no ɔmu hia constant prompting wobɛka no mmerɛ bia nyɛ sɛ bia n'asoɔden saa na ɔde sua adeɛ ɛna obi akora bi nso wɔ hɔnom a ɛyɛ sɛ da bia every now and then woka toa so bebree a ɛyɛ trigger ɛbɛ setting it off like ne bu bɛfu all the time nti ɛyɛ saa nso a wo bufu nso asɛm a obi wo maame ka kyerɛ wo no wonte sɛnea ɛyɛ sɛ wote no no it's not going to go in nti yɛmma nyinaa no awofo no maamefoɔ papafoɔ ɛyɛ sɛ yɛtumi study yɛmma ne yɛhu yɛmma what works with them prompting redirection directive statement or no say woman will set a clear expectation, constant clear expectation for them. Say we yeah visual we yeah pictures, okay. Oh sorry, pa toothbrush, toothpaste, bathroom, and what they are baby I will be who sorry I wouldn't say the first thing I saw you say so called bathroom. Echo use bathroom, washing the face, brushing the teeth, or to tune see I will hear toothpaste because I could hold to tune no one pay attention. They don't use the toothpaste. So like nothing is being done to their teeth. Before you see it, their teeth is like that, it's messed up and they can't do a lot of things. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, we have to be able to do so many things. Mother's job, we have so much that we do. Some fathers are learning to. Some fathers have been able to catch up, which is good because our children needs it. This is Aisha Ankra said, a mother's love is irreplaceable on Napo. Wonderful. Bam, 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 bam. It's so true. It is really true. But, we do have a percentage out there who may not have experienced that. But so they will tell you, yes, it is replaceable because I did not get that from my mother. So, but majority, a high percentage of numbers, mother's love cannot be replaced. Sister Sage Williams has said, mothers or parents may not necessarily have the same amount of love for their children all the time. This may not be overt, but in reality, this does happen. Sometimes this can lead to some repercussions as children becomes adults. Oh, Sister Sage, I'm telling you, I know of someone who literally told Nimba, his children, some of them, that he cares for one of his child over the others. And I feel that, like, they did it spitefully, and he told them when they were adults. Why would he do that? Normally when someone is in pain, constant pain, and they don't know what to do with it, it's like, I'm hurting, I'm going to say something to hurt you. But words are very powerful, and people needs to recognize, a mother, parents, whomsoever, what you say to your children, your partners, and people around you, at the end of the day, even when you are remorseful, you can never erase that from your child's mind, your loved one's mind. You can go back to that. Apologizing is a good step, but you have to keep in mind that that person can never erase what you said to them, and they might be able to work around it, forgive you, and move on, but every now and then it will come to mind. And that's something that it can really mess up a person's mind emotionally, psychologically. And it can also take a physical toll on a person. When someone is stress, as time goes on, it will take a physical toll on you. Being depressed, it will take a physical toll on you. Aside from the emotional and the psychological aspect. So we just need to be very mindful how we speak to each other, how we speak to our loved ones, our children, the wording that we using, and making sure that what we saying to our children, what we saying to our loved ones, we understand it and they understand it, and they're not interpreting that into something else, because we do have some of our children, they process things differently. Some children process things really quick. You don't even have to repeat yourself. Some process things very slowly, like a snail. So they need some time to process it. Sometimes you have some parents. And I'm no kasano. Asama mekan was sisi. Na sisi. Or asama wakan or dream. Enti no wu maame no anasa papa no. Say woman emre. But it say African for parents are hin or mwap or say ma mumba. I cry what child so true. Say na bem say broness wate. But before ne de woni awofo kasa na te wo kasa kra na could be one was to tro be a bit no from left to right. Uti wo kon kra anti and free so na wo da unyankopon ase. And it's sad. Brother Ankra Aquas is a Sister Sage Williams, you welcome. Brother Ankra Aquas is a, if love is withheld, which most parents do, most African parents do not even know how to show love. I mean, it's like tough love. It's good to show tough love, but let that tough love be, come with a lot of coping skills, and have your child understand why you give them tough love. You hold them accountable. You are responsible. You are positive role model. Like, wrong is wrong, right is right. You do not enable wrongdoing. You need to make sure that you set boundaries. So much. But Uncle Kwesi said, if love is withheld, a child will look for it in a million other ways. Hey, Brother Uncle, you're going to go there. Sometimes they will search throughout their lifetime unless they come to some sort of peace with their past. Yes, that's why it's good to develop effective communication. Learn to talk about your feelings, your emotions. Don't keep it inside. Don't tell yourself, okay, I'm over this person. I'm no longer choosing to not talk to your mother because of them not showing you conditional love. Because of them showing you conditional love and not giving you unconditional love, does not solve the problem. It's like you just push it aside, but it's still going to bother you as time goes on, and it might impact or affect your mothering, your nurturing, um, natural nurturing. So it's like you just need to talk about it. Brother Ankra says the emotional foundation we give our children at home is foundational to their life. We cannot underestimate the value of the home and the power of a mother's love. Bam, 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 bam. Most definitely. I mean, like for me, I certainly my parents baby girl. Mitimuya made them rough, but at the same time, so many a day in so many ways, and I am strong emotionally, psychologically now. In between, I was not, but as time goes on and you learn certain things, you are able to prepare yourself for disappointment, for betrayal, for failures, mistakes. But mistakes are something that a lot of and failures, a lot of people think, okay, when you fail or you make mistake, it's done. No, as long as you using that as a tool to educate yourself and press forward, you will become stronger, better, and wiser. So it's like, just because things does not go the way that you want it to go, you shouldn't just sit on your behind and be like, okay, be a victim. Don't victimize yourself, because that's not going to help you grow. You need to be able to do things accordingly and really do self work, self care, self everything. I love self everything because, like, what my parents were not able to give me, what my mother was not able to give to me, I can learn for myself and transfer that into my children. Okay, so as a mother, I need to make sure that I'm holding my children accountable. Yeah, they best believe it. We're gonna have a conversation. I remember when my 10-year-old now was like between 4, 5 to 8 years old or 7. She used to cry a lot. Even when you asking her, mommy, which food you want to eat, you give her 2 to 3 options and she's not giving you response. She would just stand there. She can talk, but pretend like, would not say anything. And that used to like really annoy me. I'll be like, okay, I'm speaking to you. You need to learn to use your words. Mommy, I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat now. I don't like either 3 options that you have given me. Say something. Let me know where you at. And then she would start crying. I'll be like, did I hit you? She said, no. Did someone hurt you? She said, no. So I'm like, so why are you crying? Her feeling, she's so emotional, like uncontrollably. Like, I'm like, why are you crying? So it's like, I had to like watch my tone of voice. I'm talking with her, put a little bit caring gesture in it at the same time, set boundaries, not to the extent whereas she feels pampering too much, and gets spoiled. I didn't want that for her. So it got to a point, her dad and I spoke, and I was like, listen, I don't want her being able to split us. If I go to mom and mom says no, I'll go to dad and dad will say yes. If it's a no, you're going to say no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. So we have to be on the same page. And she started crying one time when her dad asked her what she wants to eat. So I told her father, I was like, stop asking. We're going to stop asking her what she wants to eat. When she's hungry, she can come to us and ask us what she wants to eat, and then we will make it for her. So one time we just left her. She sat there, cry, cry, cry. At some point, she realized that she was not getting the attention, because before I was like, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Oh, mommy loves you. But then I realized that that's not gonna have her stop. So we just ignore her. We allow her to cry, whatever. But before we walked away, I gave her options. I was like, I set expectation and gave her options. I was like, okay, you know, I asked her a question. How long do you need to cry? Do you need 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or more? And also, when you're done crying, we're going to have a conversation about your crying. What's making you cry, and why do you have to cry? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling upset? Are you feeling angry? So we're going to start talking about your feelings, because her she used to, like, not be able to identify what her feelings is. She'll be like, I'm mad, and she's crying. So I was like, we gotta set this right. So we left her less than 2 minutes. She was done crying. She went and cleaned her face with water, dry her face. She came. She came. She was like, "Mommy, I'm done crying." And I was like, "Really? You done crying? So you're not gonna cry anymore?" She said, "No, I'm not gonna cry." I was like, "Well, if you're gonna cry when I start talking, then you're gonna have to go and cry a little bit more before you come for us to have a conversation." She was like, "No, I'm done crying." So I was like, it was so like cute and funny at the same time, but I didn't want to laugh to make her feel bad. But talking about it now, it's funny. So we sat and we spoke to her. Both of us sat with her and we spoke to her, and we were like, okay. So I had to explain to her what it makes me feel when I'm speaking with her or asking her questions and she's not responding back to me or to her dad, because it's disrespectful, first of all, when someone speaks to you and you don't respond back. And I'm not sure if she's having problems hearing. Do we need to go and do hearing tests to make sure that she hears all right? She was like, I hear you guys okay. I was like, okay. So if you don't want something, you have two options: no, or you can use the word, you can form a word, I do not want that. I want this. So you can use a complete sentence, or you can say no. You can use shake your head. What if I ask you, do you want jollof rice? You can shake your head if it's hard for you to open your mouth. But I prefer you opening your mouth and saying yes or no, because that gives me a better sense. When you do this now, it could be maybe. So I want to really understand you. So you cannot be mute when we speaking with you, because your mouth, opening your mouth to speak should not hurt your mouth. Is it hurting your mouth? She said, no. I was like, are you having pains? And then she said, no. I was like, so going forward, your dad and myself, everybody is going to expect you to speak up when you are asked a question. If you don't want to talk at the moment, you can use your words and say, I am not in a good place to speak right now. Can I come back to you and talk to you guys? So it will give me better understanding. After that day, she got better. She was able to start using her words. When she's feeling sad, she's able to identify that she's sad. We recognize that our tone of voice was also something that was triggering her crying. So we have to work on our tone of voice, just make it mellow, not too loud, not too soft. So we have to do all that after we had the conversation. So right now, she says so much. I want her to limit that, but it's good for her to like be able to express herself. Um, Sister Aisha Ankra said, depriving children of a loving family environment causes lasting damage to their intelligence, emotional well-being, and even their physical stature. We need to show some love. Amen to that. Thank you. Thank you. So very true. I just don't know. A lot of people, I think, say so many people don't understand what love is. I mean, love should manifest as time goes. It gets better and better and greater, and the feeling is mutual. It shouldn't be forced upon anyone, but like the long-term emotional damage is like the worst thing, because we do have Brother Ankra said something earlier in terms of, if a child does not get love somewhere, they're gonna look for it elsewhere, and it could be a lifetime. That will be like so damaging and sad, because we do have like some women, when they grow up, if they did not have a father figure around them, they tend to like date someone who is like a father figure for them. And then again, you have some women who likes to date older men because they feel more secure with older men, because some of the youth, some of the young men, they are immature. So some women automatically date older men because they find them attractive, they find them more responsible, they find them so many aspects into it. So I don't want anybody quoting me wrong or understanding me wrong, that anybody who grows up without a father will seek for a father figure. I didn't say that. I said some, it can work both way or either way. That's what it is. So yes. So Brother Ankra Akwese says the profession of motherhood is all about influence. A mother has an incredible opportunity to influence the next generation by what she does as a mother every day. This is why intentionality is so important during the years that mothers raise the family. Most definitely. And you fathers, don't even use a mother's love as an excuse for you guys to isolate yourself from raising your child as well. It's equally important for a child to feel the love from both ends, as to whether the parents are together or not, because a mother's love is automatic, unconditional, but we do have the percentage of some mothers who cannot produce that, based on their outbringing or some traumatized event that they went through. So it may not be, they may need counseling, but they did not get that counseling. So it's hard for them. We do have some mothers who will abandon their children. They will just choose to walk away. And I'm not sure how that is, because I fell in love with my children the day that I conceived them. Like, someone would think this woman is always dancing. Man, when I find out, hey, narcissist, I'm telling you, oh my gosh, Sister Aisha Ankra, you bring in something. Like, when I find out that I had conceived my children, like, you should have seen me. Good thing that time social media was not this way. I play music the whole day, dancing, cooking, doing so many. It was like amazing feeling. I was like, oh yes, I was like really, really happy. And then the day that they were born, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I am so happy, because I mean, love comes naturally, based on your upbringing. I mean, there are so many people, or some people, who were not able to have that growing up. And it's unfortunate, but when you do have a loving mother, a mother who will be there for you no matter what, a mother who will stop at everything to come to your aid, to your need, a mother who will hold you accountable, a mother who is responsible, a mother who, like, it's amazing. Sister Shankra, the narcissists withhold love and affection. Yes, yes, and yes. Like, because they focus on themselves. It's like them. It's always about them. They don't care about nobody else. Mm-mm. And that's that's crazy. Brother Uncle question said, be intentional about your own healing from life's hurt. Right. Taking care of yourself, investing in your marriage, parenting, and homecoming, and homemaking, sorry. Intentionality increases influence, and influence is something God asks us to be intentional about. We cannot underestimate the power of mother's love, the value of home, and the significance of our intentional presence there. Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, brother Anka, you said something last week Friday. Yeah, today is this week. Friday, like this past Friday, sister Comfort Miracle, like she said something and it's so true. I mean, we cannot underestimate a mother's love, but some mothers, their love is toxic, unhealthy, and it has no boundaries. I mean, that is so dangerous, when you talk about narcissists. It's like, they enable their children's bad habit behavior. They don't hold their children accountable. It's always somebody else's fault. I mean, how do you expect your son to grow up and be responsible and be respectful to their partner, or raise a decent child or children on their own, when you enable them to get away with anything, everything? You don't hold them accountable. There's no, like, there's a thin line between love and hate, right? So it's like they pick bad habits. It's not good. Mothers, needs to, some mothers struggle being able to give their child love. Some mothers will put their anger, pain, struggles, failure, everything on their child because it didn't work out with their father. So that child will have to pay for all the wrongdoing of their father. I mean, how unfair is that? You cannot hold your child accountable for a grown man's a grown adult's behavior. That is wrong. So I'm not sure, like, how some others are able to do that. All right. So, like, when we talk about lack of accountability and lack of responsibility, like, mothers, is our job to hold our children accountable for everything that they do. There is no little things and big things. You have to embed them with the righteousness, things that are acceptable and things that are not acceptable. There are some things that are acceptable in society, social media, in a family home, in a marital home, at workplace, in so many places. So we have to make sure that we holding them accountable, and we teach our children to differentiate between why they're being held accountable for something that they did that they think is not a big deal. Mothers should not be buying their child's love. Love should not be on sale. You can't buy love. Love is developed. It's an affection within. You develop that. So, like, you cannot buy that. Responsibilities. As a mother, as a father, as a daughter, as a son, what are the responsibility of this? Do we differentiate? No. Like, our children, mothers need to teach their sons how to respect women, how to be a responsible young man, how to speak with people, how not to put women down or look down on people, how to have a strong will, but at the same time be considerate of other people's feelings, learning to develop effective communication, setting boundaries, knowing how to support your loved ones, caring for yourself and caring for the people that you claim that you love, caring for your child, being able to financially support yourself. If you do not have a partner in your life, being able to cook for yourself, not eating outside all the time, expecting that women will come and do that, thinking that your wife or your partner, your children's mother, is your housemaid. Like being able to um, love unconditionally and not measure up your wife, your children's mother, as your mother. You see, our men have different love for their mothers and their wives. So you have to differentiate that. Don't compare your mother to your wife because that's dysfunctional. Um, Brother Ankra question. Hey, Brother Ankra, no, no. Okay, so Brother Ankra says it's not all women who has children can be called mothers. Hey, yeah, someone. Being a mother is all about influence. That's true. I mean, my mom, she not only influenced her children, she influenced a lot of her nephews and niece. I mean, I remember some of my cousins who came to live with us, they were all educated. They were all educated. Like my mom make sure that they went to school. Even if you don't like school, then you can go back to your parents. But she makes sure that every family member that came to live with her went to school because education is very important. So that's something that she was really consistent with because for her growing up, her family wanted her to get married because she was the only female with five brothers, and she was like held to the no. I want to be a nurse. During her time growing up, there was like, a stigma, like women belongs in the kitchen, cooking, having babies, and just giving themselves to men. And my mom was like, well, I'm changing that cycle. I want to go to school. I want to become a nurse. She even left her family home to go live with people, to be a housemaid, just to be able to go to school. So my mom is my role model, like, and she makes sure that she embedded some of her strength, her willpower, her boldness, independency, and so many other things, her intelligence, inspirational on all of us. Like my siblings, we all like have accomplished something. Yeah, we love each other crazy and we look up to each other. Like we don't put the other person down. We care for each other. We advises each other. Like my sisters and brother, my mom, my parents are my best friends. I can go to either one of them and talk to them when I'm I'm going through some emotional stuff, or like I'm feeling certain way things, and I can go to uh hobby also. There are some things is off limits. So I know which family member to go to on what situation. So I have been able to identify who can help me in this instances and who cannot help me in that. So I'm able to identify that. It's good to always identify your stronghold and your strength, and also keep in mind that some of our strength can be our stronghold. So it goes either way. I'm gonna get off soon. I'm not gonna spend too much time today. Also, um, mothers, it's important for us to teach um, our daughters, to honor their husbands or men, a male person in their life, their child's fathers, to honor them, be respectful, and humble. Mhm. And then mothers, is our job to teach our sons, to respect their women, um, their child's mother, to honor them and not to compare them with their mothers. Because when you do that, that's just plain disrespectful. Um, a mother's love will never end. Never, never, never. It's always going to be there forever. Um, Let me just do something. I don't think I put this on my page. Right. Let me see. I didn't put this on my page. Let me just do that. I just don't know. Sometimes I forget to do that, which is not good. Facebook always restricting something. So sometimes some of my family members will be like, "Oh, I didn't see you live. Did you come live?" I'll be like, "Nah." Mm, okay. All right. That's good. I'm able to share that. Yeah, so like, sometimes some men, some mothers, their attitude and habits, bad habits or bad characteristics that they have can reflect on their child, because our children, what they see is what they learn. So we can't pretend. If you're a pretender, if you're a liar, your child is going to be the same way, because some mothers teach their children to lie. They'll be like, "Oh, this is just a small lie, you're not going to go to hell, it's not hurting anybody." No, every lie can impact and affect other people. So we have to be mindful of that. We cannot just assume, or we can think for other people. One thing, sometimes a lot of things that happen on social media, I love social media. It's positive and it has its pros and cons, as Sister Sage Williams would say. Every situations, every thing has its pros and cons, advantage and disadvantages, and it stands on each one of us as to where we want to go, how we want to do things. Our choice making and decision making affect us and impact other people, not just us. So what we say, what we do, does affect. Like how sometimes people will go on social media on other people's program, right? And someone will comment something, or if a question is asked, someone will share their opinion, and then you have someone comes in and be sarcastic, and make a really foolish statement, right? And then you'll be like, "Wait a minute, how did this person understand that question, or why you saying such thing?" Okay, if you don't understand a person, or someone say something, or someone share their personal experiences na, "Oh, sister dachi himeni o dende ahofedia says apomuti saying me mawakwaba." A mother's love is unconditional love. I'm telling you, majority, yes, a high percentage, very much so. Me mothers who do not have unconditional love for their child, some of them may have some mental, emotional, psychological stuff going on, so they don't know better. Sometimes it might be some type of childhood trauma which has made them the way that they are. So it's really like so Thank you, sis. Brother Ankara question say, how, before I go to Brother Ankara question, let me finish what I was saying. So you have some people who like will attack your comments, you know, but like, oh, so and so, and be sarcastic about it. It's like trying to pull you into something. If I feel that, okay, let me mess with this person a bit, I will. I will say something and say it in a way, you know, to be sarcastic also, but in a way that I'm not insulting, you know. But if the person can see the underlying message, they will feel insulted, you know. But like, you know, it is what it is. That's part of life. When we don't know something, we need to ask questions. If you feel or you think you understand what the person is saying, don't make an assumption. Don't judge the person. Don't mock the person, because you don't know where the person is coming from. Human beings, we tend to disappoint. You know, some mothers disappoint, or in general, we disappoint our loved ones at some point in our life because of our decision making, something we said, something we did. And it's, you know, that's something that we need to do better. We need to do better. I need to get new chargers. Some of my chargers are messing with me. They're not working the way they're supposed to be working. Oh, shoot. So Brother Ankara Akwesi says, how you see your son and talk to him has a significant effect on how he thinks and acts. That is why we want to help you. In fact, we have created a free 5-part video series called Recognizing Your Son's Need for Respect that will help you understand how showing respect rather than shaming and badgering will serve to motivate and guide your son. Oh, this is something that will be like really huge. In need of a lot, because a lot of men struggles in that department. They talk anyhow, and you know, like mommy's babies, mommy's men who are mother's baby, they are mother's child. If you're not careful, your relationship is not like, it's just a phase. It doesn't run deeper than that. Like, oh shoot, I'm sorry. Like, oh, thank you, Stadachihima. Juice plus, so Juice plus. Sister Aisha Ankara. Hey, Sister Aisha. Oh, man, no, the other people say bum. Sister Aisha Ankara said developmental psychologists have always known children learn by imitating adults, most certainly. So if a parent has a bad habit, poor characteristic, you best believe your child is going to mirror that, because they see that they see that they're innocent. They see that as good, positive. Most children who are raised in abusive home will likely become abusive. You only have a small percentage who will be able to do the opposite. Some of them require extensive counseling in order for them to like be able to do well in their adulthood. Sister Dachi Hima said, good evening, Adwoa Odo Mensa, and most beautiful viewers on this platform. Oh, good evening to you as well, sis. Love you. But the Anchor question said, I will give those videos to Sister Adwoa. Oh, bro, please send it to me. I cannot wait to see them. Maybe I'll be able to generate something out to come and talk about it. Nice. Sadachi said, but looking beautiful. My dear Sister Adwoa Odo, Send me kind, juice plus yeah. Hey, everybody, the way juice plus has helped me now. Hmm. And there's another conversation for that. Yes. So we Friday I talk about challenges, but I didn't go into more details. Challenges are part of human life. Like there are some situation, no matter what you do, how you go about it, you still going to have to deal with it. There are some instances that are unpreventable, no matter what coping skills we teach ourselves, we embed it in our children, because we have a lot of influence coming from our marital home, or like our family home, because our children goes to school, they see things on social media, they go to event, they will grow up and start working. We just have to uh, do better and give our children, embedding them with better coping skills for them to learn to identify things that will produce for them, will add on to their life, and things that will take away. If you have a child or your children living in a marital home where the father is a drunk, you best believe one or two of your children are going to be a drunk, because they see their father drinking all the time. If they do not become a drunk, they will talk to their partner with a high tone of voice. They might become abusive, because that's something that they have known. And some of them will do the opposite. I mean, like there's a trigger effect. Some children, they see the damage that their father or their mother, the drunk, has become, how the toll it took on them. So they will vouch or vow that I will never drink, and they will never drink. Some of them, they will be able to, they are emotionally strong. Some children are built emotionally and psychologically strong. A lot of things does not impact them, whereas majority of us, we are more reactive. Humanity are more reactive. So those who are more reactive and do not learn any other coping skills, they are able to imitate what they see with their children. If you have a parent who always lying, or doing 419, of course you teaching your child ways and means how to dupe someone, they're going to start doing the same thing. I mean, it's like vice versa. So the challenges that we face is, we need to teach our children, when you go through challenging time, it's okay. Just sit down and go to the drawing board, write what, prior to you going into that difficult time, with your challenges, what prompted that before, during, and then after. I mean, you have to learn every single time. Some of us don't have time for ourselves to sit and really think about some of the things that we can do differently. What did I do yesterday that I can do differently today? Some of us don't think to that extent. What are some of the things that I'm growing up, I was not able to acquire, because I did not have the love that I needed, that I can do differently today? Healing process. One of my either brother Ankara, sister Aisha Ankara, or sister Sage shared that earlier. Healing. A lot of times, some of us, we don't learn to heal proper, properly, like productively. Many times when we go through difficult times, challenging time, hard times, or like we go through a betrayal, we just move from that and we jump onto another. Breakups, some people, they don't heal fully, they want to jump into relationship because They don't want their ex-partner to know, say they are lonely. I don't care. Like, like from the training and the experience that I have, my mom's unconditional love. My mom taught me to not rush into things when things become difficult and challenging. Take time to heal. Take time to work on yourself, because my mom cannot change me. My father cannot change me. My partner cannot change me. My children cannot change me. I have to tell myself, a mother has to tell themselves, okay, it's time for me to change things in my life. Is this helping me? Is that not helping me? What is helping me, I will keep. What new can I learn and add to what I know? And what is not helping me, I have to delete all of that. Some of us hold on to unnecessary things, and then we becomes overwhelmed. It becomes overwhelmed for us. We don't know where to dump things, and then we start struggling. Same thing with mothers. Some mothers, there are some instances, situation that they cannot handle. Instead of seeking help and to help their children, they force themselves to do some of the things that they are incapable of doing, and then they end up not giving their children the best advice or the best training that they need. And then when they become adults, it becomes somebody else's problem. So a mother's love, goes so many ways. However, we always need to stop and think and set a clear expectation. What are some of the things that are acceptable to society? What are some of the things that are acceptable to you? How do you want your child to grow up to be? For them not to be the same way as you, to be on their own, but be able to do righteousness, the right things, not being a liar, being dishonest, being manipulative, being an abusive, and so many other negative things. Positivity, it takes a lot of work. It requires work, patience, understanding, giving yourself time, learning to be supportive, giving caring gestures, loving you, doing self care, building your self confidence, having self discipline, respecting boundaries and not going over boundaries, characters. What are some of the good characteristics you can pick for yourself growing up, even if you did not get the motherly love that you needed growing up? Where do you draw the line? When do you stop going from point A to point B? Do you need to go back to point A and start over? Because sometimes before you dump an idea, assess it to make sure that's something that can really work. Because at times we race foolish race, we want to race ahead because somebody else is ahead of us. Don't compare your children with other people's children. A mother's love, a good mother does not compare their children's behavior and um, success with others and put others' children down. A good mother will always love unconditionally and teach their children and children from uh, family members, the right thing and not differentiate. Because some of us, we front. Some mothers front for sure for their children never does wrong, but for other people's children, they always pointing fingers at other people's children and calling them name, labeling them without knowing them fully. So it's wrong for any mother to do that. Emotional connection, brother Ankla spoke earlier. He shared, you know, um, emotional intimacy, which is something that uh, we all need to adapt, learning how to express our inner feelings and talk about what is bothering us instead of hiding it or keeping it inside, because at some point it's going to catch up to you. Anybody have questions? Please put questions down. If you have something that you want to share, you can also put that down. If you ask a question that I'm able to answer, I will be more than happy to do so. If I'm not able to do so, I will let you know and I'll get back to you. Okay, so our children, a mother's love, mothers, who have better understanding, knowing that it's not every place or everywhere that their child will feel comfortable opening up to anyone, everyone, and also teach their child to pick out certain behavior. It's not everybody that you pour your heart to, because some people, they will front and pretend that they care for you. Once they hear your inner secrets and your inner feelings, they're going to use that against you. So you don't just open your mouth and talk to anyone that you feel is showing you sympathy. You have to be very observant. You have to shine your eyes. You have to use your emotional intelligence, learning coping skills, engaging with people, trying to pick someone's brain. Like, can I trust this person to really express myself to, or would this person be um, someone who will hurt me the most? Some situation we cannot foresee, we cannot foretell, but like, um, making mistakes or talking to the wrong people, it happens. You just learn from that mistake and you move on from that. Don't hold on to things, because holding on to things within can cause you to be stressed or be depressed. It can affect you emotionally, psychologically. So a mother's love, many of you agree with me, is unconditional, and it will never change. It just will manifest as time goes on. My mom, like, oh my gosh, this woman, um my siblings and I, like, we laugh with our mother. We laugh at her. We make jokes. She makes jokes at us also, like, healthy jokes. We don't put each other down. We just, like, sometimes we'll call, video call, or sometimes just telephone conference, and we will talk about some things that happened in years back, and the responses that our mom gave, or like one of us, gave. And it's incredible, like the way, like, we talk with each other, like we talk to I speak to my mom like she's one of my cool friends, because she's open. She has open mindset. And I make sure that I'm respectful. She's still my mother. There are boundaries. So I make sure that I don't step over that boundaries, and she makes sure that she does not step over my boundaries, because I do have expectation, and my mom has expectation also. So we need to be mindful of that. We have to be clear in that. So when you have a mother's love, you are special. Most mothers, they build their children, they don't tear them down, you know, and they don't create confusion, they do not create chaos. They build a healthy um, environment for the whole family. I mean, when we do family get together, last year we did not, because of COVID-19. We didn't have Thanksgiving together, but we each, like, even though we all did not meet, my mother cooked, my older sister cooked, my younger sister cooked. I was the only one who did not cook. My job that day, I went to my mom's to um, pick up the food that she cooked, that she serve, she split them. So I just went and grabbed my older sisters and her families and my younger sister and her families to go drop it off. So I was the driver that day. And then when I went to my older sisters, I pick up her food that she cooked, that she split for the four of us, and then I went to my younger sister, went and dropped off my younger sister from our mothers and from our older sisters. And then I took the one that she cooked and then double back to my older sisters and my parents. And then my home was the last stop. So I was able to enjoy cook meal with my family, that my mom, my older sister, and my sister, cook. And so it's like, there's a rotation. Sometimes my mom only cook, other times my mom and my older sister, sometimes myself and um younger sister. So like, last year I enjoyed very much because like when you don't cook food and you get food from food that was cooked by a family member that you love dearly, like you eat it with joy because I did enjoy all their cooking. It was like awesome. Brother Ohineba Nyame Chapa to say, I hope say yes, so I don't even sure I'm here. Oh, thank you so very much. Welcome. We will be on Swakwaba. Cement, maybe I meant me a moody and patch of fatcher me why, maybe, I, and your boy is not intentional. Nti no, sɛ maamefoɔ yɛtumi kyerɛ yɛn mma, mmarima ne mmaa nyinaa sɛneɛ yɛtumi dɔ yɛn ho na yɛbɛdɔ yɛn ho kafoɔ no, yɛn mma no. Yɛbɛkyerɛ wɔn akyerɛ pa. Ɛnyɛ sɛ te sɛ akwaraa no ayɛ adeɛ a ɛnyɛ no na abɛka sɛ, oh, me ba deɛ wontumi nyɛ saa. Oh, me ba daabi. Akwaraa biara ɛyɛ mistake. Akwaraa bi wɔ hɔnom a adeɛ a wɔyɛ koraa wonim sɛ ɛyɛ wrong ɛsiane sɛ ne maame ntea no wɔn ho. Nti ɛyɛ sɛ yɛma yɛn ani da hɔnom. Woba yɛ adeɛ na sɛ bi a neighbor anaasɛ a family member ka sɛ akwaraa no ayɛ sei a, mennyina panyin n'anim na ɛnka sɛ me ba deɛ wɔnyɛ saa. Wokyerɛ wo ba no akyerɛ bɔne because akwaraa no afei obɛduru baabi no ɔmmu adeɛ. Wɔyɛ adeɛ na panyin ka kora mpo no a na wɔtoto ma panyin no. Yɛ maamefoɔ no bi wɔ hɔnom a ɛyɛ a na saa suban no ɛmmoa korakora. When a neighbor, a family member tells you your child has done something, even if you are against it, have a private conversation. Don't say something against that person in the presence of your child because you teaching your child bad habits and they're going to keep that. They will grow up being disrespectful and not valuing other people, which is wrong. I mean, as a mother, I can't tell other mothers how to raise their children, but we need to make sure that we teach them righteousness. We embedded them with better coping skills, and we speak of it majority of the time. Effective communication, learning to be supportive, having mutual respect, being faithful, being loyal, being committed to the person that they with, their children, being able to compromise with some situation and know which situations that under no circumstances you do not compromise, because we do have some partners, some children, some mothers and some fathers who would take advantage of certain situations. So you need to make sure that you help your child be able to identify their stronghold and their strength, and also having better understanding that at times their strength can be their stronghold, their weakness, because when you do something too much, right, and you don't take care now, it becomes a norm and you start making mistakes. We mothers, a mother's love, protects their child, and they are able to speak to their children behind closed door some of the things that are unacceptable, accountabilities, being responsible person, what are some of the things that a responsible person can do. If you cannot identify wrong things and right things, you cannot be a responsible person. So all that plays into it. Oh, yes, fine. Oh, radio dum me pa who das you me das so I share that. I don't even me just say radio dum pa me das. Yeah, that's it. Sister Dachi Hima Efia Asantua Felonash. AKA Sister Efia Oprah Winfrey. Ba Kope no size. Or say some parents are hey, Sister Dachi Hima. Tree de hey, what they're trying to bro for I mean I can't make it out. I'm not good with G. Forgetting that charity begins at home. Okay. Mean to me figure out catch me. Maybe at some point, I'll be able to make it up. I mean, they're working. They were trying to brought for me and Papa. Charity does begins at home. And some of them, they don't understand that. Okay, so what else also I need to like talk about? So like knowing that our children have different coping skills, different personality, we have to identify how to work with our children. I mean, for me, I am just grateful that I was able to like have some trainings and have some experience, working with different individuals in my old work, doing attending some seminar trainings, and to learn how to deal with emotional adults, angry adults, with different emotions, because we all different and we receive things differently. So it's a whole lot. Oh, okay. I got it. Some parents are abasha bonny, forgetting that charity begins at home. Mommy who's a sometimes, at the moment, my mind cannot function well. Mommy for ma bonny. Hey, akwara na de a woye na nye otieye akwara timi ko bia de okofo obi sika anaso obi aduane okobia so nam ne papa aduane enso no maame no obe di besi obe ka se o me na me yiye enso na enyo chese chale maame fo mo sho mo ma boni no mo hwe ni yi o na enye I have to like roll my hair tonight because ochina no panya ochina me because and because I'm like looking at it and say, okay, I know so I can sound this out into and to tell you guys the truth, I never learned the Chi language. I asked Abrabo and Kodani be brain in Brofone can so muntimi intro me Chi kakra be them timi but to say me shall say social media no forget it. Actually no mean to me that's a cramp na somewhere but I am so grateful to you guys. Fine. I'm not perfect, but to say mitimi ekinkan twi ni bi kakra. I mean, it is will be country meti ni nyina ase meti ase As a main kwame to one more country, Ayana, if you are watching, but some new beating come near country, dear, oh, one dear me yard, no cremu, no cre. Until you say, me, there are 2 meets in one that him a basha bonnet. Awesome. I am so proud of myself. Let me clap for myself. I said, hey, sister. Oh yeah, well you're okay. I'm okay, pa. Yes. And, also like a mother's love. Oh my gosh. There are so many mothers, they would do anything, everything for their child. Just make sure that you not stepping your boundaries. Like my mom knows her limit. Oh, thank you, Sadachi. Yay! Yay! It's so awesome. Thank you for your support. I mean, like, some of you are amazing. Minima dia minko. Yeah, me before I made by US, I was a teenager. I didn't know how to read the tree. Because man take tree classes. You write it in English, but as I said, your canon sana sana otro, but to say what kind alphabet na English alphabet, any alphabet na. Some of the pronunciation is totally different because you got A, B, C, D, A, B, D, A, F, G, I, K, R, O, P, G. So like you have A, B, C, D, like, I mean, some of the E and the I is sound differently. And then when you write in something, the O, we have to use the bracket facing away to do the or. And then I see some people actually writing the letter O. I don't know how they do that. So the pronunciation is totally different. So, but it's always good to, yes, you share your dialogue. I mean, I don't mean answer me meeting your dialogue, Nasi, but natural and is me It's a mission natural. Na me fluent also. Inti no medamu nyina amase because I think that some of you have forced me to my madam for your friend is saying iyama ono one time obetro bibi my me ya menti mi anka. Afi, be free. So me to one so I was sitting there, literally. I was sitting there and I was like, but yeah, asam no can ye. Because me ya chire ansakura na me etimi afa. Na I'm say, oh, Erade Adwoa Odo. Where na winti minka. Eh? So ayana mudi acheme why. Nyina yeshia de. I'm learning as time goes. Not Asia, you guys give me time. If we reach now, you'll come back from patching one metro. That is going to happen. Okay. Good mother, a mother's love. A good mother, like a mother who loves their child, their children, to the moon, will teach their children to be fearless, to not be afraid, even when they fear of something, there are ways and means you can overcome that. Say, esuro ewo mu a, suro deɛ, I mean, obi ani hɔ nom ɔbɛka sɛ me nsuro biribiara, biribiara ni hɔ nom a ɛma ehu ba me mu. Da bi wɔ hɔnom a te sɛ nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ a wohu anaasɛ wonim anaasɛ ato wo pɛn, ɛtumi ma wobɛnya ehu bi wɔ mu na woda wo ho so. But saa ehu na ɛwɔ wo mu no, wobɛtumi ayɛ ho adwuma a kyerɛ sɛ ɛnlimitew, ɛmma kyerɛ sɛ having that no ɛmma wo prevent you from doing some of the things or overcoming it, stepping outside your boundaries. Yɛmu bi wɔ hɔnom a we just want to use one corner of a box, even though there are 3 different options beside the one you using is there. But some of us, we are fearful of trying something new. It's always good for you to try something new. Say, why ya adeɛ bi saa na da bia woyɛ a kyerɛ sɛ wo a wonkɔ w'anim wogyina baabi a wogyina nneɛma nkɔ yie kyɛ wo ho ntɔ nom ne ade sɛ wo try the second corner na wo use baabi a ɛyɛ adwuma wɔ first corner no na wode akɔka second one ne ho wo say okay mmienu wei na me use there are 2 other corners in a square. So like once you finish, you overcome using all 4 corners now. Okay, now you need to feel comfortable stepping outside your boundaries. What are some of the things that I was not taught by my mom that I can learn to help me excel? Stepping outside my box. Some things that we don't know, but we need to be able to be able to do things that it will kind of like spice up our things that we know, just give it a little flavor. That's what it is. Yeah, my dear, she is professional about everything. Just love her keke. Most certainly. I mean, I love her fluent in Chi. She writes fluently in Chi, and you're right. I mean, and she's so bold and confident. Pose this sister side also. Also, yeah, this the same one. There are so many of them. Sister Mamanson, so on also trot what some of us about to say, about media, and you won't forget to cry, won't forget, you won't forget it. I will just come with the English part. Paul. She is very brilliant. I'm telling you. I mean, to say like all of us are brilliant in our own ways, but like there are some of us that are extraordinary. Yes, I mean, and we can all learn from each other. I like learning from each other. So you guys telling me nobody have a question? No one has a question for me. Why is it that I like to be asked questions when I come live? I love that, but majority of the time, no, not many people ask questions. Every once in a blue moon, I have someone ask questions. So if nobody has questions, I'm going to go off. Yes, we can learn from each other. That's a fact. Bum, 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 bum. We need to learn from each other. Sometimes, I try to figure out some things. I mean, I can speak for other people and I can be other people. Other people cannot be me. Some of us have the same characteristic. Some of us have certain personalities that are kind of similar, but not even close. And then some of us, we tend to do things and say things to satisfy other people's needs. Being on social media, there are some things that I have come to recognize. A lot of us don't understand ourselves. A lot of us don't understand other people. And then when people share their opinion or speak of something against what we're talking about, most people, their first reaction, because we are more reactive, is to insult the person or say something really mean and really hurtful to the person. I just feel that it will be better for anyone, everyone. If you are doing program or you are on somebody's program and someone says something, we have to be careful with our words. We have to like ask the person question, okay, whatever do you mean about so and so? Okay, can you be more explanatory, because I don't get you, because I'm not sure if you're trying to insult my intelligence, or like, you're trying to be sarcastic, can you be a little bit more specific? If you don't agree with me, that's okay. Like, it's quite okay for you not to want to agree with me, but like, respect my opinion, because we all have a right to have our opinion, our expectation, which is something that some people don't realize. We can't tell people how to think, and we can't tell people how to speak. Yeah, my voice is different from every other. My personality is different. I'm more like, I can be cocky, I can be fun, and I can be very teasable. That's my personality, and I love it. I do love it, but uh, you know, we just have to stop. Insult does not gain you nothing. For me, like personally, people who have a tendency to insult, it means that that's part of their mechanism. When they don't know what to say to what someone said, or they feel hurt, or they feel disrespected, or they feel like, they have been put in their place, that kind of like, the only thing they can think about is insult. Okay, this one did not catch it well. Let me go here back. So we need to respect other people. Even if you're speaking and someone does not understand what you're saying, it's okay for you to like ask questions and let the person know. If they're not getting what you're saying and they don't have anything nice to say, they can leave. It's not compulsory for them to be there. Uh, oh, I don't know, intiminchi. This one, intiminchi. Let me see. I'm not doing it right. Sorry, guys, but I'm just going to do some stuff. So I want to make sure my hair, the curls is on at the end. All right, so I'll leave you guys for today. I see you guys Friday at 6:30 for Abrabo Nsem life issues, and probably I will do an open talk. Just have a conversation, anything, everything. Oh, oh, okay. Is this that Dachi Hima Efia Asanto Philonash? So them kind, aka is that Efia Opera Winfrey. No size back, okay. Sister Dachi Hima said, Adwoa, what you saying is very good, but here is the case: people grow angry with people coming and so forth instead of asking questions at times. I don't understand, but that's most Ghanaians for you. I mean, we need to just change that setting. I think that even sometimes, those who are on the platform that have like, that are sensitive and have empathy and have emotional intelligence can also help redirect the host, the guest, or some people who are being disrespectful. It is just like, a poor characteristic. I just don't understand why some people are choosing. I mean, when it comes to our society, community, like most people lack of knowledge, most people lack of intelligence. So it's like the first thing that comes, I mean, if you ask me a question and I don't know, or I feel threatened, the first thing that comes to mind is insult. I'm just going to curse at the person. I mean, in America, you have some people that curse. They use the F word like it's nothing, but like it becomes part of them. I mean, why would you like say something like that? You shouldn't disrespect someone because the person that's not in line with your value, your opinion and stuff. You can ask the person to like just go off, or you can ask the person, okay, listen, I'm not sure, like you can use that to educate the person. It is just a bad taste, when people insult. It's wrong. Negativity just destroys, and I feel like some Ghanaians, they enjoy destroying other people. They enjoy disrespecting other people. They enjoy lying. Insults, it aligns with lies because you don't want to believe what this person is saying. And some people, they feel threatened. People who tends to insult, they feel threatened by the others. If they feel that someone is smarter than them, they will go into that. Yeah. Sister Sage Williams said, what are some of the negative effects of enabling mothers on children behaviors, and how are these children able to overcome them as adults? The long-term effects. Oh my goodness. Hey, Sister Sage, no. I love it. Well, um children that children who grows up with their mothers, enabling them with bad behavior, like if the child starts stealing, right? Or if the child, are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, they lying, small lies. The long term effect, that it will have on the child is going to be greatly a lot. It's a lot. I mean, like a child stealing mango, right, from their home. When they go to when they start going outside, they will go to the market, and while they with their mother or with a family member, they will steal a mango. The owner may not see it, but another person may see it and alert the owner that this child took mango that he or she did not pay for it, and then is going to create all this hassle. Whereas, the owner may not have the patience and the emotional intelligence, the way they will approach the mother, is going to create um, physical fight or verbal altercation, whereas it may escalate into a physical fight. And then the family is going to be labeled as, thief family, akromfo fie. Even one child, it's only one child that stole the mango, but is going to be put as a whole. I mean, for parents who enable their children with negative behavior, like they don't see it at first, but in the long run, is going to affect the child emotionally and psychologically. Um, some children going to learn to lie because they think that that's okay. At times, they may cause somebody's life because lies can put someone in jail. Lies can destroy somebody's marriage. Lies can cause someone to lose their job. It becomes a habit. How do they overcome it? For them to finally be able to recognize that this is something that is not going to help them. Um, Putting someone in trouble, lying on someone when they know the truth. If someone lie on them, how would they feel to put themselves in somebody's shoes if they are put in that position. How would they feel? That's when they have conscience, right? To go to the drawing board and be able to get help. Go to counseling. Talk to someone who may have, like, experience in such area, and be able to do the right thing. Hold themselves accountable. Some parents, like, they do that because that's how they were raised, so they think it's the right thing that they should do, but it shouldn't. Before almost to say almost enable omuma almost shena omuma say, and I said chinu mean can ye almost shena omuma say, and I saw ma omuma say it's says anybody idea won't can onka sɛ ɔno pɛ sɛ ne mma deɛ okay me mma deɛ ɔmo no ɔmo nyɛ biribiara wrong, ɛne me ba nkasa me ba yɛ adeɛ na ɛnyɛ koraa wode atwa mu kɔ. Nkwaraa ne bebree wɔ hɔnom a ɔmo yɛ adeɛ na ɔmo maame nka, the long term effect is going to be sɛ akwaraa ne nyi a saa bad habit no, it becomes part of them. Akwaraa bi wɔ hɔnom a osha no fa adeɛ tofe obɛhyɛ ase afa tofe na obɛfa no wobɛhu na aduru sɛ wɔhyɛ ase fa sika ɔkɔfa sika na afi deɛ wɔde aduru abɔnten ɔkɔ abɔnten ɔkɔ wiewia nkorɔfo adeɛ na sɛsɛ ɔkɔkye obi akokɔ obi dwan obi apɔnkyen tɛ sɛ as they get older na ɔmo hyɛ ase ewia kɛse ebewia kyiri na obi gold anaasɛ obi diamond ɛda hɔ no akɔfa ne abɔ ne bia no abɔdam. And to say like some of this bad habits, mommy for no mumma parents no mumma ya dia omontia omono akura na ya dia nyementia no some person betia no woni pema behind closed door tia akura no, but sometimes no yen so betia akura no ewo baby a okoye yi nse ne be ya akura no behu se enya wo nko a woni ni maame bi wo ho no bɛka sɛ meka we na akyerɛw ba emma obi enhu sɛ me tu wo fo akora no ka akyerɛ ne sɛ okay me asɛm a me no ka no meka akyerɛw but sɛ wo betimi akɔso ayɛ de wo yɛ no, it's like you canceling your own advice. And ɛyɛ sɛ awofo no omutimi maame fo no wotia wo ba. Na so ya akora na se ya ntia wo na wunyi a na se sa habit no ebeye problem ma wa obema bi wo ha na so oba bi wo ho ma because of ne chrome phone ti onya kun anaso onya yire because of ne nsem keka enti no onya kun anaso onya yire asa se nintro a wodi nti no onya kun onya yire esa se ebufuo kankan bone e bone so nti no eno nso no onya partner no ne ade nti no the long term effect no it would take years and years to undo that. But say ebia akora no entimi enya nipa bi anaso entimi enya a good counseling na ebeye problem ama no ontimi hold the relationship no ne ade. But to overcome that, some of the things that we talk about now is a ubeshia kasapa kasade ubeshia senye ehumobro because obi wo ho no ma woye your friend is saying woye obi ade a woni tebiabia woni musa ade a waye nipa no wa hurt nipa ne feelings so ubehu asema wo beka wano kasa ubehu kasapa sene ubetimi akrokro nipa enyesa wo krokro na daada no ena ubenyamre ama ho no waye oho adwuma be build with self confidence, having self discipline, developing self discipline, being able to have assurance of yourself, not sarcastically, knowing that say growing up when ya coping skills ni valuable things that with media want to get better, because some of us, some people, they need to be their own counselor. Google now, like social media has broadened. You can go to Google and Google on things, how to overcome negative effects of, your being enabled of things, how to deal with disappointment, how to deal with betrayal, how to deal with stealing, how to do anything that you want to know. You can get it on Google. If you can talk to a family member that you look at them, you see them as a role model, something that they're doing that you can learn from that. So it is a whole lot. It goes to, like, the long term is, if you don't stop to learn some coping skills to help yourself, you're going to live your life feeling miserable all the time. Every time you feel like everybody is against you, you always will be pointing fingers. You're always going to identify other people mistake as they are the problem, whereas you are the problem, because the long term is like you don't see yourself being a problem. You're going to go into relationship after relationship blaming your partners. Meanwhile, you the one who has the problem. So it's a long while. It's a lot to deal with, and I mean, people need to learn to help themselves. It's good to learn coping skills, because there are some mothers who enable their children to do things. I know, I have a family member that their mom, one of them, was always talking about other people, saying things, lying, and she was never redirected. She always talk about other people in other people's family business, and the mother never redirect her. The father also did not say nothing. And then fast forward, she grew up and she caused a major issue in two family members. She literally, because of her talking and lies, she caused two family to not talk to one another for a long period of time because of that. And it took years and years for the two family to be able to finally come together. Some family members have never been the same, but it also taught the other family member to be open-minded and shine their eyes and be mindful who they talking to and who they what they're saying in the presence of other people. So it's like, at times enabling mothers, they cause a lot of damage to their child, and that child can cause a lot of chaos um, onto other family members. I mean, it's unfortunate, that tends to happen. Sister Sage Williams, awesome questions. Awesome question. Thank you. Sis, please, I have some questions for you. Go ahead, Brother Ankara. Oh, Brother Ankara, one person may feel soon now. Some questions for me. I can see. Looking back now, starting with your first imaginary thoughts of becoming a mother as a little girl, how does it feel to watch your children grow up? Oh my gosh, wow, that's a good question. Like, I remember, like, growing up when I was like maybe 8 years old. I used to like have a doll, and I will feed my doll, like, put it like on my arm, because I saw my mother with my younger brother and baby sister, holding them, breastfeeding them. And I remember I didn't even have breast, and I'll try to feed the doll with that, which is like so silly when I think about it now. Growing up, doing pretend mother and being a mother now, there is a major big difference. I mean, if you do not learn to be patient, oh my goodness gracious, you have to be patient. You have to have an open mind, and also give yourself time to be able to not, it's not every, like, some of my kids, um attitude and personality, like I see that my daughter, she has a lot of my personality. um the 12-year-old is more reserved, like her father. However, as they got older, I see that both of them, they have some um, characteristic that's the same, because the girl, she has this other side of her that is not, definitely not from me. um, and she will try to be the boss of her 12-year-old brother, and I'm like, first of all, we need to have a conversation, because I have to explain to my son that he cannot take that. He needs to be, because I get it as to how that transferred into him being bullied earlier in his school days, because he's reserved. He would just listen to people, and people would give him direction, and he would just go with it. And I was like, you cannot sit there and allow people to talk to you in such manner. So like, it's so different, like having a doll and having real person. I had to work on myself to have patience. I have to work on myself to have better understanding, to have time for my kids, for them to be able to express themselves, and also balance my voice, change my tone of voice, like when my kids knows when I'm being serious, like, having a conversation that is no, there's no discussion about it. And at times, this conversation, we need to address it. I need to hear from your um, point of view, where you coming from, why you did this, why you said this. Is there a reason that you saying this? What are some of the things you watching on YouTube that's causing you to talk in such manner? Do I need to restrict more videos that you're watching from YouTube? The YouTube you watching, like, I need to like watch with them sometimes. So it's totally different, brother Ankara, but I like the results of my motherly um thinking. I'm minded person, and my kids, like, they feel comfortable going to their dad to talk to them. They feel comfortable coming to talk to me. So they don't differentiate the two of us. They can go to either one of us when they struggling with something, if they need help academically, or like, emotionally, psychologically. With their dad, sometimes when, when it comes to academic stuff, because he wants to watch his soccer game and stuff, he would tell the kids, oh, your mom went to school here, I did not, so go to your mom. I'll be like, what does that have to do with anything? That's messed up. So, that's my take on that, brother Ankra. So looking back, all the things that I thought a mother can do, oh, that was just nothing. It was just foolishness. But actually, becoming a mother and having the responsibilities are great. And if you don't take care of your physical, emotional, mental needs, you go crazy. You will lose yourself, and you will struggle, and you won't be effective for your child. You will not be able to hold them accountable. You will not be able to teach them responsibility. You will enable them doing a lot of things, because some parents are, they give up when their child start crying. They don't have a conversation. Some parents buy their children love, buying them electronics. My My children has iPad, and but they have iPad time. Sometimes they have to earn their time. Other times, they get it because they finish their work. They have free time that they can choose to use that or watch TV and other stuff. So it depends on each one of them. Um, I hope I answer some of the questions. I answer your question. Sister Dachihima said, a good mother often called a good enough mom. That's her best to teach her child how to live life to the fullest, most definitely. Allow room for her children to make mistakes and learn from them. Yeah. Teach her children how to love unconditionally. Bam, 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 and bam. Yeah. My question goes to all mothers on this platform. Oh, okay. So that's Sister Dachihima answer hers. Good one. What has given you the most joy as a mother? Describe it. Hey, brother Uncle. Now, one person me free so. Oh my gosh, what has given me the most joy as a mother? Hmm. Well, the one thing I can say has given me a great joy is being able to have better understanding of my children. Not being, you know, too strict of my children, leaving room for them to also make decisions. I mean, teaching my children independence, letting them be able to make some of the decision based on their feelings. My daughter, I have a big girl. She just walked in. She was here with me before, and then she went out. Where did you go before? Where? Living room or the other side? With your brother? What were you guys doing? Oh, so you guys are waiting for me to finish the program? So what is 5 o'clock? Oh, I see. You see, like they were waiting till 5 o'clock because from 5 to 7 they have the iPad. So she went in the other room with her brother, and they were watching TV, right? Mm-hmm. Waiting for 5 o'clock because 5 o'clock they get 2 hours iPad time. So she was like, we were waiting for 5 o'clock. And sometimes they need to take a nap. Nap is what? An hour to 2 hours nap, right? Just to revive your mind, right? Yo, these kids are like unbelievable. So, like, my most joy is like being able to have quality time with my family, spending time with the kids, having either one of them pick a movie or a program that we watch together, playing um, games. We play trivia, we play monopolies, Uno, and there's no, like, I don't go into, oh, she's 10 years old, so if she lose, because when I lose they laugh at me. So I let her know, when she start laughing at me, what do I say to you? When you lose, don't cry, because I'm going to laugh right back, right? Yes, that's what I do. Now you want to play Monopoly? So you want to miss your iPad time and play Monopoly instead? On the floor? Oh, playing on the bed? That's fine. I mean, if you want to do that, I'm getting ready to come off. We can do that. So you guys going to use your time with me? Oh, that's so beautiful. That's also part of my most joy, when the kids are willing to sacrifice their iPad time to spend it with me, having time to talk to them, checking in with them, if they want to talk, when it comes to the academic, homework and stuff, to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Because sometimes their description, their grammar might be off, but they're doing much better. Them coming to me or going to their dad to ask them questions or asking for help when they need it. Either one of them, and our oldest, Ray, Ray will call me first before he calls his dad, because a lot of children tends to like come go through their moms, to kind of test the water, like, mom, what do you think about this? Do you think he'll be daddy will be receptive to this? I'm like, yeah, why not? I will talk to him. I'll let him know that you're gonna call him soon, and then you're gonna talk to both of us, so I can put myself in there to make him feel comfortable. This way he has his mommy there to like kind of support what he wants to talk about if he feels uncomfortable. Hey, brother Ankra, no. Yes, being able to keep my children healthy, talking to them about eating right, and the times that they have to eat. Fruits is something that both the children, Ray, the oldest one, does not, but the 12 and the 10-year-old, they love fruits. They eat fruits. So I'm sticking with Juice Plus. With Juice Plus, I don't have to worry about if they have enough nutrition, the vegetables and the fruits. So they have enough with that. So time spending is a big thing, being able to be around each other, also giving each other space. The kids have their own time, I have my own time, their dad has their own time, because when we each have our own time, don't come bother me, don't go bother them, it's their time. So we have certain boundaries, giving each other space to be able to do things that they like to do. Oh, thank you, Sister Sage Williams. Thanks, Sister Adwoa, for the input. Very much appreciated. Thank you so very much for your contribution, productive contribution, and your input as well. I love it. I love it. Sister Dachihima said, but can't answer it because I never been in a situation. Sister Dachihima, what are you talking about? Like, how many children, nieces, nephews that you have, raised, you have advised, you have more experience than me. So, yes, you can. Even you gave me like some advice. So what are you talking about, Sadachima? Yeah. Monopolies, I love that game, Charlie. When I send these kids to jail most of the time, and one day, these two kids, the 10 and 11-year-old, she was 9, he was 11. The 10 and the 12-year-old, I'm sorry. At the time, she was 9. That was a year ago. She was 9, he was 11. They team up together just to keep me in jail. Because they felt this, I was like targeting them. So they were like, oh my, this kids, and they worked me. And before we start the game, one of the expectation was like, you can quit if you're losing. You have to try your best, you don't give up. So they got me to the point I wanted to stop playing, but I was like, okay, I can't break my own expectation that I set. So I have to play. And sure enough, I lost. She came in first, he came in second, and I came in last. And they laughed at me throughout the whole day, but that's okay. I got them back. That's what it is. Last question. What advice do you have for the next generation as they begin their own family? What will you wish for them? What advice is most critical for them to remember? Okay, I'm going to go about one by one. What advice do you have for the next generation as they begin their own families? The What I can say to that is that with parenting, there is no guide for parenting. You go as it comes, you take one day at a time. But as a parent, it's really important to make right decision. Stop, pause. Don't rush into judgment. Don't give accountability without having a clear understanding from your child's perspective why they did what they did. You need to be able to assess the situation and before and talk to them. Build effective communication, how to talk with your child, your partner, people around you, and not be judgmental. Sister Dachihima said something earlier. Parents always need to give their children room to make mistakes. There are some, there's no right or wrongdoing, like, when we make decisions, unless, like, you following the wrong group. Um, Always take time, exercise patience. Don't run foolish race. Do not listen to other people. Do not compete with other people. Do not compare your relationship or your parenting with other people. But always, always give yourself room to learn new coping skills, because what might work today may not be effective tomorrow or sometime down the line. We cannot expect to use the same tools every single day. Sometimes a tool you might use today may work 3 months or a year from now. Our children changes every single day. Their mind work differently. Some of them is very rapid. Some of them are like just in between. Some of them work very slowly. It doesn't mean that there is something wrong with them. They deal with things differently. That's why we all react to things emotionally differently. Some people, you see them cry, others you see them laugh, others, you see them be mad at something that they shouldn't be mad of. How do they identify that? Are they confused with their feelings? What are they reacting to? So, for the next generation, to begin with your own family, make sure that the person you choosing to be with understands you, and you also understand them, and they respect you and you respect them. Mirror everything. Whatever you are expecting to get, you always need to also mirror that, because that's going to help you greatly. Do not judge. Do not point fingers. Work on yourself. Every self thing do build your self-confidence, your self-esteem. They both the same. um have self-assurance, self-discipline, self-value, have self-love, because for you to have that understanding, you're going to be able to transfer onto your children or your family. But don't expect your partner or you to be perfect, because none of us are perfect. And don't be too hard on yourself. Don't rush into relationship or marriage, because marriage is a long journey. It does not, you don't have a straight line. So develop coping skills that will help you. Boundaries, always set good boundaries, effective boundaries. Be supportive to yourself, and respect yourself. Value your own thinking process. Do not doubt your capability. We all have different abilities. What will you wish for them? For me, like, I really, really am hoping that the new generation, coming up, my children, they will learn to be their own person without um, pretending, with that pretense, lying to maintain their identity, or like, needing someone to identify themselves. Or like, if you need someone, it has to be that you are in a place whereas you are receptive to the person that you are. Accept the person that you are, dark skin, light skin, chocolate skin, whatsoever, not bleaching, because, and having that mentality that, light skin people are more beautiful than dark skin. It's never true. That's an exception that people has put in their head. It's dysfunctional, really. I'm a beautiful mother. I'm a beautiful woman. I'm a beautiful daughter. I'm a beautiful friend. So, not following people just to belong, to be their own person. What advice is most critical for them to remember? Oh my gosh, that's like, what advice is the most critical for them to remember? You are who you want to become. Yes. So teach yourself well and do better in all things. Yeah. Focus on that. Brother Ankra, those are nice questions. I love it. Well, thank you guys. Thank you all for being part of this conversation. I see you guys Friday, next this week Friday at 6:30 for Abrabo Nsem life issues, and then Saturday at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, which will be 7 p.m. Ghana time, 8 p.m. UK time, with Sopho Samuel Okoso with marriage lessons. Even though, we talk about marriage lessons, sometimes some of the conversation that we have, the discussion we have, anyone, single person, some youth, can take something out of that, men, women, all around. So just you guys tune in, and when you guys come, bring questions, ask questions. I mean, something I don't know, I'll just let you know I don't know, because I just don't want to give um unproductive information. So it is what it is. I see you guys. Take care of yourself. One love always. Crisscross Mensa, my baby sister. I love you, baby sister. My mom, uh, Mrs. Amma Mensa. Like, my mom has taught me a lot. I think some of my motherly instincts and being consistent with my children. Consistency is really important. I talk to my kids all the time. Like, I sometimes trying to pick their brains, where they at emotionally, psychologically, if they're in good space, just to provide them support, because I don't want them feeling left out or feeling like, they're not loved. Like, before I leave this house, I've been working from home for the past year. But the kids, when they wake up in the morning, before they go to bed, we give each other a hug, a kiss in the cheek, and then they will go throughout the day. And then in the nighttime, the same routine. But sometimes in between, I'll be sitting there and they will run over and they will come over and give hugs. They do the same thing. They and their dad have this foot greetings since the COVID. Their dad comes from work. He comes home. They will approach him and they will use their foot to greet each other. So I think that's really cute. I tried to capture that on video a couple times, but every time that happens, I'm either caught up doing something. By the time I bring the camera, the to record it, they're done. So I have given up on that. Yeah. So I'll see you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Don't work too hard, brother Ankra. Self-care, self-care, self-work, self-work, self-everything. We need to take care of ourselves, and take care of each other. Holding each other accountable, being responsible, and doing the right thing. It will help us greatly. So, bye, guys. Love you guys. My love. Oh, me that obiase wa wo share program no. Wo like it, wo love it, yeah. Uba so I meant me a molding me patch of fat cheme. As I said, I love you guys all the same. Why? Okay. Well, bye bye. Yeah.